evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Charlton Chronicles. As you can see, we are a bit of a heavier team tonight. I am back at the helm. I'm sorry we're a night later than normal. That's my fault. I have a bad knee and I had to make a trip to the hospital. So before I crack on with saying good evening, some of you may have seen a little announcement from our Tom today. So our Tom will be sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. Will be shortly taking a leave of absence from Team Chronicles. It's not a goodbye forever. It's a we'll see you soon, and he's moving on to find better things for him. And obviously we wish him nothing but the best of luck. He may make a guest appearance every now and again, and he'll still be rocking his Chronicles merch, I'm sure. So a big thanks to Tom for obviously your service with us. And he is still going to be here obviously tonight and on Wednesday. And Tom is going to be replaced by our lovely Callum, who has guest appearance on this podcast. And obviously he's going to be a great addition to the team. So Tom, I'll come to you first. Obviously, as we've just announced, you're taking your leave of absence from us. Congratulations on obviously what is coming up for you. Obviously, we kind of know, but I don't know whether you want to tell everyone else yet. But how are you tonight?
I mean, I'm obviously good from the result on Saturday. But yeah, obviously I am stepping back a little bit. Obviously, a lot will be announced in the coming weeks. There's a lot that is coming, a lot that I'm working on, which is it's taken a while, but that's for sure. But it is finally falling into place. Obviously I'm not leaving for good. I will back it every now and again. But yeah, most Wednesdays, most Sundays I will now be doing kind of my own thing, and obviously it's kind of building my kind of path as well, which I want to go down. Yeah, obviously thank you for all the obviously kind things and everything. I've had plenty of messages today. But yeah, obviously very happy. Obviously Charlton are winning games. Obviously I will still be vlogging. I will still be doing all that good stuff, but there's a lot of things that will be put on my socials very, very soon, put it that way. So yeah.
Good stuff. And obviously, like I've said, we've still got Tom for this week, so we can enjoy his rants a bit more, which I'm sure there will be one after we get back to the Ipswich tomorrow night. Yes. Paul, I'll come to you next. Paul's awaiting a burger delivery, and so he might be leaving us soon. Sorry. But I have seen Paul's lunch today, and I'm actually shocked that he's got room for a burger after the size of the lunch that he had. So, Paul, how are you, mate?
I'm fine. You see, I'm lower on the screen, so you can't see my belly, obviously, which helps. But no, I'm great. By the way, Tom, obviously, good luck with everything. I'm sure it'll go absolutely well. Yeah, I'm fine. Buzzing, obviously, we managed to get the 3 points. It got a bit hairy at the time, didn't it? I obviously had that little issue afterwards, which you all know about. Just to say a certain student will no longer be working at the Valley, henceforth. I won't go into that. But no, apart from that, everything's fine. Looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully, we can get something out of that, because obviously, for those of us who've been to the last 2 away games at Portman Road, it's not been the greatest of viewing, has it? 0-10 aggregate. So I'm fully confident that we'll hopefully get a point tomorrow. But no, really looking forward to it. The boys are top 10, so onwards and upwards.
Yeah, and Steve and Sid, I hope you're well. And just another announcement, as Tom is taking a leave of absence. I'm calling it a leave of absence. You're not leaving completely. Sid will be taking over our TikTok, which is a great thing because you young ones know how to do these things. So, Sid, how excited are you to be running the Charlton Chronicles TikTok, and how are you?
I'm really excited to be taking over the TikTok, and I can't wait to edit all of the clips from the shows. And I'm really good, thank you. Great game on Saturday, and I had my own game yesterday. And as Mark said in the chat, you know what, feisty game, as Dad said, and I'm really proud of my team for what we achieved.
Yeah, good stuff. You're a superstar. Dobbo's got nothing on you, Sid. And Steve, how are you, mate?
Yeah, very well, thanks, Em. Really enjoyed Saturday. A little bit sketchy towards the end there, but we do that in second halves recently, don't we? We kind of come off the gas a little bit. But great first half. I thought we fully deserved the 2. And if I'm being honest, I thought we fully deserved the win. So 3 more points, 9th place. We've got to be smiling, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
I think we do. Tyler is going to host the first segment of the show tonight because I wasn't at the game on Saturday. Tyler, don't outshine me too much here, right? Okay, so I'll quickly do the good evening to everyone in the chat. So Rob's in there, good evening. Edie's in there, good evening. Good evening to Tracy. Good evening to Steve. Good evening to Tommy. Good evening to Mark. Tommy has just said good luck, Tom. Charlton fan up, evening. Good evening to Soph. Tom has said congrats, Tom. Steve, you're in the chat. Good evening, Steve. Herbert's in there. Good evening. Tracy has said best of luck, Tom. Mark has said well done, Sid. Did you pinch them on the corners? Charlton fan hub has said I've just realised why we're on a Monday night. That's my fault. I'm sorry. Tommy has said go Sid. Charlie said best of luck, Tom. Keep us posted on what comes next. Mm-hmm. And that is it. So Tyler, over to you. Just don't ask me any questions about Saturday because I wasn't there.
I was going to say I'll probably pull you in because you'd probably be sat there like a melon otherwise. But
I've got to sort out Adam's phone contract with Vodafone. You carry on.
No problem. Babysitting, then I see.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'll say hello to everyone. I haven't said hello yet. So yeah, hello everybody. And discussing the Sheffield Wednesday game, of course, a 2-1 win, which I accurately predicted. So I'll take that any day of the week.
I did as well.
But yeah, spot on. But yeah, 3 points is 3 points. I think we'll have to come away with that. It was a pretty scrappy affair, wasn't it? All things considering, very nearly could have ended up with a draw, or perhaps even worse if things could have gone that way. But look, we'll take the 3 points. Great atmosphere as well from both sets of supporters. And we'll start with Tom. 2-1 win over Wednesday. Let's get your overall thoughts on the game without dissecting individual performances too much.
I thought the first half we were unbelievable, to be fair. I thought we was right on it from minute 1. We could have easily made it two or three, or 3 more goals in the first half easily. Kelman obviously had the chance. He's getting closer. I thought overall everyone just played really well. Second half, obviously, I know we'll get into it, but I thought subs kind of changed the game a bit more as well. I thought from about the 60th minute, Sheffield Wednesday had a very good bit of play up until like the 70th minute until they scored. Obviously, they had a few more chances as well. But thankfully, we did hold out. It was a very scrappy and nervy end to the game. And obviously, we will obviously get on to the red card, which I still don't know how the referee played on for another 30 seconds after that. But as I say, we'll get into it. Overall, good performance. A game we were probably expected to win. I did say it wouldn't be a walkover, and it wasn't. I thought Wednesday were a decent side, and I thought they posed a good threat considering the issues that they are in. And obviously, while I'm on it, Wednesday fans, if you are watching this, I hope you obviously get your club sorted, because no one wants to go through anything like that. Charlton fans know firsthand what it's like to go through anything like that. So hopefully you get it all sorted out soon. But yeah, other than that, obviously, as I say, the second half was a bit lackluster for me a little bit. I thought we stepped off the gas a little bit more. And as I say, if we play like that in the second half against Ipswich, it might be a repeat of a couple of years ago. So let's hope that is not the case, and hopefully we can go full guns blazing or tomorrow night. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me in the first half, I think it was just a case of Wednesday never really got going, so we were able to not get out of first gear. If you know what I mean, like we were very comfortable in the way that we played, and I don't think we were outstanding in the first half, but we were clearly the better side because Wednesday just couldn't get going. They didn't really offer any sort of threats and scored 2 goals. Again, not from the strikers, but we'll get into that a bit later. And then, yeah, as you said there, second half they just come at it and they looked like a side that that wanted to win the game. And Steve, I'll come on to you now about Sheffield Wednesday and get your thoughts in terms of how they played, because I felt that in the second half especially, they looked like a team that were fighting for their livelihoods there. Like they looked like a side that actually wanted to come at us in the second half. And we just, as I said, I don't think we got our first gear really for the whole game. They didn't get into gear in the first half, and then they just upped it by like another 5 gears and they just come at us in the second half. And could very easily have nicked a point from that. So yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on Wednesday overall, how you felt they played and amid the situation that they're in at the moment.
Yeah, second half, 100% right, I think, mate. They look like a side that had probably got a bit of a rollicking at half time. They played on the front foot. They didn't look like they had anything to lose. It was probably one of those games that was, which I think they've had a couple of times this season when they've been 2-0 down, and they pulled a couple of them back. So I think it was always a testing score for us to either get the next goal or then be a little bit worried if they do get a goal. But yeah, I think they played more in our half than we did in theirs in the second half. They looked fluid. Dare I say the BB guy, Mr. Bannon? He was the cog that really kept them moving forward, didn't he? And yeah, they got the goal, and yeah. On that stage of play, they probably had the majority of the play. But I always thought we might break and nick one. And I think obviously if near the end Tanto would have got round the keeper, we'd have made it a 3-1 win. But yeah, their support was fantastic. They packed the end. You can see the turmoil with their fans. You can kind of, it's almost palpable what you felt from that lot. Not just worried about the result, but also about the future of their club. But I thought the fans represented the team really well, and in the second half, the team represented the fans really well. They just, as you say, Tyler, they never really got going. Well, we never got going, but they never really got going out first gear in the first half. Sorry, but yeah. Yeah, the championship may be beyond them this season, but yeah, I think they did pretty well on Saturday.
Yeah, I think they did their fans proud, to be honest, with that performance in the second half, and credit to their fans as well. I think that's the best away support we've seen this season.
I was about to say, yeah.
Loud all game, the black and orange scarves that they pulled out, it was quite hilarious, because the covered end actually hurled abuse at it at first and then slowly started to applaud it, which is but yeah, obviously show complete solidarity with the Wednesday fans and what they're going through. And yeah, I think the fans did the team proud and the team did the fans proud, as you said there. Sid, coming to you, there isn't an ex-Charlton player for you to banter off like Thierry Small was against Preston, but feel free to give Barry Bannon some stick for a couple of minutes. He definitely was the brunt of all the jokes from the Charlton fans, and I must say I took every pleasure for every long ball that he put out of play in that first and second half. It was laughable, to be honest. Although, to be fairness, he was carrying a bit of a knock, so I've heard. But yeah. Let's have a Sid weekly rant about Barry Bannon.
Right, you know what? I don't think he had a bad game. But then again, what was he doing with those long balls and crosses and passes? I mean, the guy couldn't pass, and I just think that maybe his retirement is coming soon. But I mean, all you've got to say is, Barry, who's got the karma now?
I saw Waz's tweet on X, I think it was, or Harry, I think his name is.
Tweet of the year.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, that tickled me. That did. But I think I do have to give Bannon credit. I mean, we were talking about it on the last show. The dedication he's shown to Wednesday. He is a club legend for them. In fairness to him, and he's definitely given that club everything, although he didn't exactly give it on Saturday with the way that he played. It wasn't exactly a great performance from him, in my opinion, but still got to give him an ounce of respect. Paul, coming to you. Let's just get it out of the way. The referee. Probably the most inconsistent. I mean, I think we've said it so many times in the championship this season, but that was probably the worst ref we've seen this season by a mile. Inconsistent in terms of fouls and Christ above. What do we even say about that red card for the goalkeeper? How on earth does that ref see it? First of all, completely, it's there in front of him. He can see it, full blown vision. How he looks at that and goes, yeah, play on for 30 seconds. And so the linesman calls it is absolutely ridiculous to me. I don't even have words if you can even describe it.
It's truly unfathomable. And obviously the gaffer used the phrase, didn't he? I mean, he could have, he might as well have beaten him with a baseball bat. It's like, it's that sort of thing. It's like, what did you have to do? I mean, I think we were united in as a fan base with the Wendy's in terms of their protests. But I think I saw plenty of stuff on social media from them saying he was an awful ref, probably for different reasons. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, I almost forgot about the Harvey Nibbs one a few minutes before, because it was just so mind blowing. It was like, what was he doing? So clearly, as we all saw, he was about to he turned away, basically. He turned away to go upfield. If you look at some of the videos that people have put out, particularly the EFL one, which I think they cut short just before he did that, probably no accident there. And then, the only reason he stopped playing was because of the injury to Horvath. And obviously, Tanto, of course, was taken out, so he didn't need attention. And then, of course, you saw that the Lino, who with respect had been getting quite a lot of stick, but actually bailed him out. I mean, I could see the expression on Lino's face, like, you do know that's a red, don't you? Kind of thing. I saw him. I saw him actually take the card out, and I think he put it in his hand for a while. I started filming at that point because I knew he was obviously going to show it. So I obviously tweeted out the red card being shown. But yeah, absolutely ludicrous. I mean, what else do you have to do? As you said, he was up with play. He was right in line. What else did what else did he need? I mean, I'd never be a ref for all the tea in China. But, let's be honest, some decisions are pretty simple, aren't they? And that was one of those. It was pretty categorical. It was obvious. I just don't know why he must have thought it was some sort of coming together. But, I mean, yeah, unfathomable, illogical, shocking, horrendous, whatever. I mean, I've seen stuff about Tom Reeves. He's actually a really good fella. He was on... He intervened with, I think, Omar Bogle. There was some racist incident in Gillingham about 18 months ago. And he intervened and helped out, and he got a lot of plaudits for that. So that was good to see. But if you just base it on, as the cliche goes, you're only as good as your last performance. And that was pretty shocking, to be honest with you. God knows what the assessor is going to think, basically. I mean, what is he going to say? Tom, you could do better, mate. Would be the understatement of the century, I think. And obviously, Nathan was quite funny in what he said. He said, I used adjectives. I'm sure he used quite a few choice adjectives. But yeah, you can absolutely understand, it was completely baffling. And as I said, I almost forgot about the Harvey one. Although, to be fair to Harvey, he got up and played on straight away. So fair play to him. He could have made a meal of it. But like Horvath obviously did. To try and get some sympathy and not get sent off, but no, it was ludicrous, wasn't it? Really, I can't understand it, and along with 20,000 others.
Yeah, I think Horvath knew he was in trouble from the way he just stayed on the deck straight away. Like, he knew what was coming, but I would like to see the meeting afterwards, see how the ref tried to justify how that wasn't
exactly.
I would like to see what went through his head. Like, oh yeah, keeper comes flying out, foot's at chest height at Tanto, wipes him out, and goes, yeah, no, nothing wrong with that.
And it's a handball as well.
How Tanto's still walking, by the way, as well, is beyond me. How is fine after that is crazy to me, because he absolutely wiped him out clean.
Well, someone compared it to Schumacher against Batistone in the '82 World Cup. Obviously, some of you weren't born. I appreciate, but yeah, that was just assault. Basically, he came out of his area, that 5 foot in the air, and just virtually karate kicked the guy. And it was almost as similar to what Horvath did. It was just took him out. And I just don't understand whether the ref was in some sort of shock. He couldn't believe what he'd seen and thought, it can't have happened then, and then walked off. So yeah, absolutely nuts. But yeah, as I say, interesting.
Wild to me.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, justice is served. Horvath's been red carded, and unfortunately, Wednesday have now got to play a 16-year-old in goal who's barely played youth football by the sounds of it. So they could be in trouble for the next 3 games. But yeah,
against Middlesbrough, by the way, as well.
That's going to be tough. Right, getting on to the actual game itself and the squad. I think the lineup was probably as expected for a Jones side, maybe bar Burke starting over Ramsey. I think that was probably what many people probably would have had Ramsey in that team, but Burke, with the way he's been playing recently, I think we probably expected it. Going through areas of the pitch, it's not really worth assessing Kaminsky because he didn't necessarily have much to do again in the game. I don't think you can really blame him for their goal, really. It's a shot from outside the box, hits the post. It's unfortunate that he goes back beyond him, I suppose. And let's just say their goalkeeper, Horvath, didn't exactly cover himself in glory for Carey's goal, did he? Being apparent in front, so it wasn't exactly like that. But yeah, pretty uneventful game for Kaminsky again. Unlucky to a degree with the goal. Tom, I'll give you the back 3, of course, Gillespie, Jones and Burke. How do you think they played against Wednesday?
I thought they had another good, strong thing, to be fair. I thought Maka keeping his place, which was kind of it was kind of needed as well. But then I thought him and Bell kept kind of switching as well, which I thought worked well. Jones, I mean, we say it every week. We're going to get for him. He wins every header, every single header in the air. But it was nice to see him get on the score sheet, although in the first half, he did get a little knock, so I was a little bit worried. I was like, okay, here we go. But overall, I thought they were all right. I thought they were quite solid. Ramsey coming on as well. I thought he did well in place of Burke. Obviously, we'll get on to Tuesday, but I think obviously Ramsey will probably play over Burke. But yeah, overall, as you say, for their goal, I don't think Kaminsky could have done too much for it. But yeah, I mean, overall, another a solid performance as well. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think a pretty solid performance from the defensive generally. Burke made me laugh in the quite a lot because he was somehow ended up as the overlapping wing back to Bree.
Yeah,
on the back. I sat there like, you're not supposed to be there, mate. Like,
he's quick though.
He is actually, yeah, deceptively
he's very quick.
But yeah, great to see him on the score sheet, as you said. Jones, another solid performance, and Gillespie again. Good to see him keep his spot. That free kick at the end when Liam Palmer went in goal, sat there like, at least get it on target. All you had to do was target it on target, and that's a goal. Rose there.
I spoke to Connor after the game, and Jones told him to kick out for a throw in it first of all as well.
Oh, fair enough. All right, fairs.
So,
it was intentional. Right, I'll let him off.
Yes.
But yeah, another pretty solid defensive performance from them. And as Tom's rightly said, there probably would need changes for the Ipswich game. Steve, I'll give you the fullbacks. Of course, Bell and Bree. Bree again with another goal contribution. He's got some free kick delivery on him. I remember seeing Jones's quote saying that he was better than James Ward-Prowse when he was at Southampton, which is quite the statement because Prowse he's a pretty good set piece taker. But yeah, Bree's got half a delivery on him, and again another pretty solid performance. And Bell as well, again putting in the performances. But I must say again, it's particularly with the second half, I couldn't help but feel again with the fullbacks, and I know it's quite harsh considering Bell's been playing so well, and obviously we can't drop Bree, but I just felt that again we lacked that creativity in the wide area, particularly in the second half. And I just felt that what does Akhtar and Hernandez have to do to at least get some minutes off the bench? So, what did you make of Bell and Bree's performance? And do you think that perhaps we could have done with someone like Akhtar and Hernandez to come off the bench and give us a bit of creativity when it seemed like that Wednesday were coming at us?
Yeah. Going back to Bree's free kick, I mean that was sensational. I mean that if that would have been Beckham delivering that in, we'd have all been salivating and calling him World Player of the Year. He's definitely got that in his locker, and it must be an absolute pleasure for people like Burke, like the two centre halves that are going up for set pieces, not just to go up and make the numbers up, but if a delivery comes in like that, there's half a chance you're gonna have a chance of scoring, which is great. So the longer that continues, the better in that respect. I thought they both did well. Wholeheartedly agree on the left side in regards to creativity. I think that's probably going to be something that we're going to have to put up with for a period of time. Certainly until Josh comes back. I mean, Bell is Bell. He is what he is. He's an excellent defender. He's tidy on the board. He's reliable. He's consistent. But as I say, in regards to that little bit of spark where Josh could be on his bike and running at the right back, I don't know. I'm not sure you're potentially going to see that from Bell. But then again, as I say, it gives you other stuff that a forward-thinking player might not. So, it might be something that we have to deal with all the time that he plays there, and Macca keeps his place. It's probably the way it's going to be, isn't it? And especially with a few of the tougher games that we might play against, hence Ipswich on Tuesday night. So I was quite pleased with the way those guys did, and we looked solid enough again. A little bit sketchy in regards to us playing on the edge of our 18-yard box for a lot of the second half, but the defence worked well, and we kept them out. And obviously they scored one, but we kept them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree with the Bell stuff on Bell as well. I think, we're probably going to have to deal with that with Edwards being out, and it sounds like he's going to be out for a while after him recently requiring surgery. So speedy recovery to Josh. He's definitely a loss on that side, as well as Bell has been playing. That's again, it's the headache that we keep talking about with Jones's squad selection, with how good everyone has been playing, particularly in the back five. But yeah, Bell's been very impressive, but Edwards is a big loss in terms of creativity in the squad, and hopefully he comes back fit and firing. And obviously Bree has just been a revelation since coming in. I'm patiently waiting for us to confirm him on a permanent, or at least till the end of the season. Losing him in January could be costly. Let's put it that way. Sid, moving on to the midfield three, again a pretty solid performance on all three of them. Again, Coventry scared the living daylights out of me when he got that early yellow card, and I was sat there thinking, don't get yourself sent off because it'll be a massive loss in the middle of the park. But the fact that he was still on a yellow and still put in an engine, like a performance like an engine in the middle of the park, was absolutely fantastic. Doc again led the line in midfield, and it's just been so impressive for me. And then Sonny Carey, my God, what a steal from Blackpool he is, man! What a player! I love that man to
On a
pieces.
free.
Yeah.
On
I know,
free.
a free, and I'm going to keep reminding Blackpool fans. They said he weren't going to be good enough for the Championship, and he's certainly making them eat their words. Top goal scorer, what a player!
Love his song. Yeah.
Assess the Dynamos in the midfield three. How good are they at the moment?
Yeah, so I do think that with Sonny Carey, we've got a gem there, and I do think that he is one of the better players in the midfield in our league. But same with our whole midfield. I do think that, again, we have a better midfield than most teams in this league. And I do think that every week they are putting in the effort, they're putting in the shifts, trying to get it to the forward, playing their game properly and making sure that they make the effort. I think that Greg Doherty was really good. I think he kept his shape. And same with Connor. I think, again, with like Tyler just said, I think he kept his concentration, knowing that he was on a yellow card, but also played like he should.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all three of them are just in form at the moment, and it's hard for anyone to try and get in the squad at the moment with how well they've been playing. They all just feed off each other so well with how they've been playing. You know, it seems like they've been playing together for years. You know, that's how good they are at the moment, and hopefully that continues. Before we assess the forward line, because as we always seem to do, I'll get you all involved on that because it's quite topical at the moment. Paul, I'll come to you with the substitutions, which again is quite topical when it comes to Jones at the minute. I think the first four were probably expected. They were exactly the same subs, I think, actually, from the Preston game. Leeburn and Tanto coming on with half an hour to go for Leeburn and TC. For Kelman and TC, sorry. Leeburn come on. And then obviously Nibs come on for Carey. Ramsey replaced Burke. And then towards the end of the game, Rankin Costello got a couple of minutes to replace Bree. So I'll get your thoughts on the subs. Do you think, again, were they the right ones? Did they make the right impact on the game, or did they take the sting out of the game like they did against Preston?
Well, as you know, Tyler, I've been pretty much a staunch defender of TC, but I've kind of flip-flopped recently. And obviously we're after a sponsor, so I thought, get the Gandhis in actually. No, to be serious, I mean, I really thought. I mean, obviously, I'm sort of back on TC's side. I'm back on the hill with him because I think you saw. People say, well, Charlie, TC don't score, maybe don't set things up. Although, obviously, to TC's credit, of course, he did set up the original effort for Sonny, which led to his goal from the rebound, from the save. And I think you almost instantaneously saw they went off, I think, on just after the hour, both of them. And Henrik Pedersen must have been cock-a-hoop. I mean, my Danish is a bit ropey, Tyler, I've got to say, but he must have been thinking something like Silurga my Fortsel Stein Simai, which basically means happy birthday to me in Danish. Take my word for it, right? Because almost instantaneously, you saw Wednesday go on the attack. It was incredible. In fact, it all happened, didn't it? In about 6 or 7 second half minutes, they went off. And Ugbo and Bailey Cadamarteri's son of Danny came on, and then 2 minutes later, Jamal Lowe scores the goal. I don't think it's any coincidence, to be honest with you. And then we were on the rack for quite some time. So, we lost the press. We've already talked earlier on about, how good the two of them are in the press. And you need people leading the line. I mean, I tweeted out, again, being old, I mentioned about Ian Rush because he was, one of the greatest strikers we ever produced in these islands. But he was always up for defending from the front. He was the first line of defence for Liverpool whenever they were attacking whatever. And I think those two guys are very much like that. They lead the line in a way. And I think once they went off, it all got a bit fractured. Obviously, Miles and Tanto did get up to speed. As we know, Tanto very much did get up to speed before he was kiboshed by their keeper. And I think, the other stuff like Harvey obviously played a part as well. But it's just, it's that you saw the drop-off in pressure. What we do is all about, we talk about the creativity lacking. But first and foremost, we need to pressure. We need to really harry. We need to win the ball high up the pitch. And that's what, TC and Charlie do in basically in tandem. And it was incredible. It literally was. As soon as they went off, Pedersen thought, oh yeah, let's go, boys. So I think, as I say, what we need to do, I think, in future is make sure that, the rhythm and the momentum doesn't drop off. It dropped off so markedly. And of course, they scored. And they had us on the rack. Obviously, our defenders did what they've done so superbly for the previous sort of 9 games, and actually bailed us out. And I don't really think after they scored that first goal, or their only goal, that actually they were going to score again. but it did get a little hairy, and it really shouldn't have done. And you mentioned obviously Josh, just to change the subject slightly. Of course, if Josh had been on, he would have been bombing up. It would have given them a problem. So as I say, we obviously missed that. But yeah, I just think it's that, there needs to be sort of continuity. We make the substitutions, and we don't want to be dropping off for 10 minutes trying to get up to speed, if you like. They need to be going straight in, knowing what the job is, get up there and do the job. I don't happen to think that Miles works bloody hard, but he reminds me a bit of the gas man in terms of pressing. I just don't think he's got the pace to actually maintain it, certainly for anything more than an hour at most. So yeah, I think that's what would concern me. I mean, again, sort of Harvey got into the game, and that was, I think he played well and helped out. But it's just that 10 or 15 minutes where we kind of dropped off, and it really showed it. So I think we need to, as I say, I think the gaffer would have obviously have seen that and sort of needs to take steps, because a better side. I mean, they've got some wily campaigners, as we've seen. Obviously Bannon, the two lows, Callum's best favourite player, Jan Valery, in Football Manager or whatever. So they have, but we should have still been able to deal with it. So I think, as I say, there was a drop off, and there shouldn't have been really. So lessons need to be learned, I think, quickly.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, to be honest. I think, when, as you said there, when Kelman and TC came off, I mean, the press just went from the forward line and the momentum just went. And as you said there, it was no coincidence that they scored not long after that. As you said, Leeburn and Tanto, they grew into the game eventually, and they worked hard, as you say. But yeah, I agree with Leeburn as well about the pressing as well. I just don't think he's got, certainly not the pace compared to Tanto to press as much. And Tanto didn't necessarily press as much as he perhaps could have done. I think he was kind of conserving himself, so to speak. But yeah, I think there probably has to be a lesson learned in that regard. I mean, we can't exactly make changes to then drop off. It's something that when the players need to come on, need to be on it straight away, and that's something that needs to be addressed. But I guess we're just lucky that the subs come on, and besides Wednesday scoring, nothing changed in terms of the result, and we got the 3 points. But certainly lessons to be learned, as you say. We'll move on to the forward line now, because obviously it's a massive topic, and we'll continue to talk about it. So Tom, I'll give you the general thoughts on Kelman and TC. To be honest, I think both of them actually played fairly well. I think Kelman again is continuing to get better. Was very unlucky not to score, if not for some miraculous defending, we have to say, from the Wednesday defender. How he pulled that off was fantastic, and full credit to him. But yeah, Kelman's performances for me just keep getting stronger, and that goal is coming, and it feels like that's all it needs. And TC set up the goal for Carey, of course, and did look to cause some issues for Wednesday. He, as you said, he create that creative spark, drove the ball forward, but again, no goals between the pair of them. So what did you make of their overall performance?
I thought that overall thing was good. I obviously Kelman, as you say, it is coming. He had that chance, and that was a glimpse of what he did for Orient last season. And he got in behind. And again, I don't know how he got that tackle in, but he did. But TC for the goal. He dragged 6 players out of position for Wednesday for that goal as well. And the ball we played in was absolutely superb. And that's the type of game we want TC to be playing every game. And that's the type of player we know that he is. Obviously, Kelman, for me, I wish Jones would leave him on for 90 minutes and bring Tanto on instead, just on his own with Kelman, because I think those two would work absolutely wonders in this league. Obviously, with Tanto's pace and Kelman getting in behind, I think it would just work wonders, especially in like the last half an hour where. I mean, actually, yesterday, Tanto's pace on the ball while with the ball is absolutely insane. Those two, I think, obviously, we want goals, we want assists, we want everything like that, and obviously, it's not happened just yet. And it is going to look interesting. Obviously, TC, Bell, and everyone only got back on Thursday from obviously Jamaica, and obviously played on Saturday, which isn't a long turnover at all. Which I think all of us said on Wednesday show to just to rest him, put him on the bench, because he's been overplayed, and we don't want him to be overplayed too much where his body breaks down, because I mean he's only 21, if I'm not mistaken, and he's played an enormous amount of games recently. And I think, obviously, we'll get onto Ipswich, but I think he will kind of be maybe rested a bit. But as we say every week, Jones trusts him. Jones trusts that front line, and as I say, I think tomorrow he needs to give Kelman 90 minutes because that goal is so close. I can feel it. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, to be honest. Kelman just continues to impress me with every performance he puts in. And I do think TC played okay. I think he had an all right game. As I say, he set up the carry goal. He drove us forward. But again, I just couldn't help but notice that something was lacking in the forward line. And the common denominator for me was that Kelman needs a proper striker next to him. And I do agree. I would like to see someone like Tanto Aliba start next to Kelman and Kelman stay on a bit longer to see if he can, hamper the defences a bit more in the closing stages because his press is fantastic. His work ethic is brilliant and we can't knock that. Stephen Sid, one thing I noticed with TC, particularly from the crowd, is that every time TC made a mistake and he gave the ball away a few times and a couple of his decision-making wasn't great, you could sense the fans like really sort of starting to moan and start to really get on his back like quite vocally from what I heard in the cupboard end. And it's very noticeable now that fans are now starting to kind of ignore performance levels for TC and they're starting to want to see goals from him now, which I think we kind of saw coming. 10 games in now, he still hasn't scored. Same with Kelman, but I think we're starting to see now that the crowd is slowly starting to turn on the two strikers. So I wanted to get your thoughts on TC overall in terms of how you felt he played and whether we should be looking to change something going forward and whether if a change is necessary.
Yeah, Matthew's made a point in the chat there. I don't think, I'm not sure he was dreadful, but I don't think he had his best game, to be honest with you. There was quite a few things where he looked off the pace. He missed a couple of balls. He didn't control a couple of balls, and he stopped the flow in a game in a few times. As I say, I don't think there's any issue in regards to his pressing, and I think that there was a valid point made about when him and Charlie come off. I think it was the same for Preston the week before. We took those two off, and they seemed to grow even more into the game. But in regards to those two getting a goal. I've had a conversation mid-game with Mark about that, and we were saying that one of them potentially needed to score on Saturday. Charlie had a great chance, and he was obviously stopped by a fantastic tackle by the centre half. But yeah, it would have been nice for one of those guys to get off the mark. Tyrese got his assist, which was great. But yeah, I think the longer it goes on. I don't think it's ever going to get to a nasty stage, but I think people are going to be demanding more of those two in regards to just plainly goals. And if it doesn't happen, you've got two guys that when they do come on the pitch, they're making a difference in regards to what we're doing going forward. So I think it's inevitable for those two guys that if they don't come on and start scoring soon, the discontent, if that's the right word for it, it may come a little bit earlier. And what we don't want is those guys losing confidence, obviously. But as I say, they need to start scoring. I mean, that's what they're judged by, isn't it? At the end of the day, I do think that if Charlie does score, the floodgates may open. And I think he was unlucky on Saturday. But it's just one of those things that he needs one to go in off his backside or whatever. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he goes with on Tuesday night.
Yeah, completely agree. I think we're just waiting for that one goal for Kelman and for TC as well, especially. And as you said, I think we're now starting to slowly see that shift in terms of the fan base are now going to be demanding goals from them because ultimately that's what they're paid to do. And from what I've noticed anyway, there seems to be a lot more sort of support and encouragement for Kelman to score. A lot of people are really sort of banking on Kelman to score, whereas for TC, it might be down to last season in terms of the inconsistency that he showed, but it's more frustration with TC when he can't really get the ball forward. I've noticed that a bit more. They're starting to be a bit more critical of him. Sid, if we're talking about Kelman again, do you think he needs a different strike partner next to him and needs more minutes to, try and get that goal that he needs?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely been improving and a lot more than TC has, that's for sure. But again, it is just him waiting to get his goal. Really close on Saturday to getting one. And I think that if he does start Tuesday night, there is a possibility that he'll get one. I mean, the only thing that was kind of sad about Saturday was when TC and Kelman were coming off, TC's number had been raised on the board, but Kelman hadn't yet. And I mean, I don't know if Nathan Jones had already summoned Kelman or something like that, but I mean, Charlie was already walking off the pitch. And if Nathan Jones hadn't summoned him over and he just kind of knew, then that is a bit sad to see, because you don't want your striker being upset or doubtful that they are coming off. But I do think that when Tanto and Miles came on, they did give energy. And I do think that Tanto was especially really good. Obviously, they both adapted into the game quite quickly. And I do think that they should both get a chance. And even if one of them starting with Kelman, I think that's better than having what we already have up front playing.
Yeah, again, I mean, it sparks that debate with the front two, which I'll bring Paul in for before we wrap things up and get Emma back in for the Ipswich game. This is only the second time. Wednesday was only the second time this season that we've scored more than one goal in a game. And again, none of the strikers managed to hit the back of the net. So you were talking about continuity when it came to Kelman and TC and the substitutions. Going into Ipswich and some other tough games coming up, do we stick with continuity with Kelman and TC, or is it now time for a change? Because 10 games in, 1 goal from the strikers is going to get to a point where something surely has to change.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've spoken up for TC on most of these pods, but I've also said that probably Charlie may need a change of partner. And I think we talked about Tanto and Charlie on the last pod. So, thinking, that TC is good for the press, but also wanting Tanto, and it seems like a contradiction, but they're not kind of mutually exclusive. I guess it's just, I think you're right. Charlie's nearly there, isn't he? He's on the cusp. I do think that TC's knackered. Again, as Steve said, I don't think he was dreadful, but there were times when he was off the pace. In terms of the creative side of it, albeit as we said, he made the sort of the pre-assist, if you like, for Sonny. I think, Ipswich are going to come at us. They're smarting. They were unlucky to lose, I think, at Borough. They were pretty awful the first half, but they came back into it, could have probably drawn it. Dodged a bullet at Blackburn, obviously, as we know. So, they're going to be raring to go in front of a full house. So we probably need to meet fire with fire. So I would probably particularly given how Tanto did eventually get up to speed and the threats he posed, I would probably want to see actually Tanto and Charlie together, because that would be quite a dynamic duo, I think. I've probably contradicted myself and trying to excuse myself, but yeah, that's probably what I think, because we need to be up for it. Again, we can't be caught with our pants down like we were at Loftus Road, and to a certain extent, I guess, at Preston as well, the goals. So yeah, I'd say just unleash both of them and see where it takes us, really. Because Ipswich aren't going to be messing around. They're going to be their fans are going to be baying for blood. So we can't afford to be timid and sort of play the percentage game. I think we need to probably just try and, as I said, meet fire with fire and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if Jones ever does make changes to the forward line, because he hasn't really done that so far this season. I think the only change he has made to the forward line was Leeburn replacing Kelman at Bristol City. Besides that, it's been Kelman and TC and no change. And changes in the second half, obviously, late in the game. But it's going to be interesting to see if he does make changes to start games from the off. But yeah, Ipswich is going to be.
The fact that Tyler, that we just said, is obviously the fact there was such a drop off in the momentum when they both went off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably going to be preying on his mind, because we know how much he values both of them for their work ethic. So that might have spooked him a bit, because it really was pretty radical, wasn't it? It was pretty obvious what was going on.
Yeah,
we obviously regained the momentum eventually, but it took a while. We're not going to be afforded that against Ipswich. We have to, as I say, we have to be ready. So, as I say, he may have the same sort of starting lineup, certainly put them both in. But I do think, he's going to be thinking about, what damage, Tanto could do. Because if Tanto, as I say, is fast out of the blocks, he's going to be a massive obstacle for the and problem for the Ipswich backline. So, they've been rocky a bit as well in recent games too. So that may be on his mind. But I do, as we've said it a few times this season, he's probably just going to revert to type. He knows what he gets with Charlie and TC. And again, it may be a case of, making substitutions at an early stage if we're not making inroads, and indeed if we fall behind. Because if they get their tails up, they pin their ears back. it's going to be some sight to behold. I think if they get an early goal. So I think, as I say, I don't think it's going to be I don't think there's any fear of us, suffering defeats like we did the last couple of times. I mean, the one positive is I don't think anyone in the team or even the squad played in any of those games, so they haven't got the baggage basically that we have as supporters. So there is a positive going into it from the off. But yeah, as I say, I think we just need to be really up for it, and we need to sort of get our defence in first and do to them damage before they do it to us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to be very interesting, as you say, in terms of what's going to happen and the headache that Jones has in terms of how we set things up, because Ipswich is probably going to be the toughest test of the season so far. But yeah, be interesting to see how it goes. But yeah, that's all for me for hosting duties. Spoke enough about the Wednesday game. There's Emma reappearing, and let's get Emma back on the saddle to talk about Ipswich.
Hello, Tyler. Great job. Thank you very much, as always.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad I come back because I've got Paul going on about game days and talking in a foreign language. So I think I needed to come back. I was.
I'll mute myself now. Sorry.
Yeah. So some things are just you lot drive me mad. Right, I'm going to make it short and sweet. So obviously we're off to my least favourite ground tomorrow night in the whole wide world. I'd even go as far as saying it's worse than the Den and Selhurst Park. I've literally had to see 10 goals go in the back of our net there in the last 2 visits. Actually, I only thought 8 because I got back on the coach after the 4th one in the last game. And they got back and they went, Ryan Ellis has been sent off. I went, I'll just take me home. So,
exactly where I was on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be a tough game. Ipswich are no mugs. They've got an absolutely fantastic manager in Kieran McKenna. I'd probably say the guy, he's Premier League quality. He's an outstanding manager. They've got an outstanding squad. It certainly isn't going to be an easy game. And I think, we've got to come out all guns blazing, really. We've got to be our best version of ourselves. So, has anyone got any lineup changes they'd obviously like to make? I know what I want to see, and it doesn't begin with TC, I'm afraid. So what is everyone else thinking? Tyler, I'll come to you obviously first.
I think in terms of fitness, I think you probably put Ramsey in for Burke. Unless Burke is okay to play the Tuesday, then I probably would stick with him because I don't think Ramsey's been as good since the red card against Millwall. But if Burke isn't fit, then Ramsey comes in. I'd like to see some creativity on the left-hand side, to be honest. I know Bell has played well, but he's just come back from international duty. Can he do this? Is it worth risking him? I mean, I know it's Ipswich, it's a tough test. You probably do have to play him, but I just can't help but think we need creativity on the left. So I wouldn't be against, Apter coming into the squad. And then in terms of the forward line, I mean, TC, as Paul said, looked knackered, to be honest, against Wednesday for most of the game. So I'd like to see him come out and play Tanto next to Kelman, but we know that TC is going to start. So probably the only change I'd make, knowing if I'm putting my Jones hat on, that is probably Ramsey in for Burke, and that's it.
Yeah, Stephen Seed, you got any changes you'd make?
Yeah, very similar to Tyler. I mentioned Ramsey being out on Saturday, and I think they've got a really good player. Is Philomene or one of their players? He's very, very sharp, very rapid. Yeah. He'd be a good job for Ramsey to tie up, I believe. Yeah. I think that's a definite change to be made on that one. I really would like to see Tanto up front with Charlie. Do I think that's going to happen? Potentially not, but yeah, if we can keep on the front foot, keep creating chances. As Paul said there, I think they've been wanting a few times as a back four this season, and if we can nick one, it'll give us something really good to defend on. But yeah, Ramsey and Tanto, please. Yeah,
Tom, anything for you?
I am the exact same. Obviously, if Burke is fit, then you play him. But yeah, Ramsey's the only real one. Obviously, yeah, rest TC, but as we all know by now, Jones will not be dropping TC no matter what. I'd obviously love Tanto to start, but it'll be Kelman and TC.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah, he needs to start with Berkey. I am obviously, I'm sure we're all concerned about his fitness. So, is he a 3 games a week guy? Probably not. But at least if he probably replace him with Kane, I think, if he starts showing signs of fatigue. And talking of fatigue, obviously we talked about TC. I do think that he gave it his all for 60 minutes on Saturday. He is showing signs of wear and tear. He has been actually, as people have said in previous games. So I think, that would be the ideal excuse to put Tanto in. But will Nathan do that? I think we all know the answer. But we may be surprised. I mean, as I say, he has made changes to the forward line in previous games. So, we'll see how it goes. But it would, as I say, we need to be really dynamic. And I'm sure they will be. There won't be a repeat of the Loftus Road sort of calamity. So I'm probably overstating it, but you know what I mean. Certainly the first 10 minutes was not great. So hopefully we're just up for it. We'll all be up for it as fans who are going there. It's going to be a great atmosphere. We just need to rise to the occasion, unlike the previous 2 occasions that we went there, which were absolutely bloody awful.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit probably with Mark in the chat. I'd actually quite like Leeburn and Tanto because I don't think they're mugs, Ipswich, and I think we actually need to go big and strong up front. But I don't know what more Tanto's got to do because I'm just getting, I'm going to be real as I always am. I always speak my truth, and I don't know what more Tanto has to do to get in this team. And I actually think it's disgusting that he keeps sticking with a guy, not only for Tyrese's self-confidence right now, but what he's doing for team performance. We've played 10 games and not one of our strikers on the pitch has scored a goal between them. It's stupidity. It's finest form. It's like just keep doing the same thing and it's not working and it's not working. So it has to change for me. It just can't continue. It's stupidity and well, I'm not Nathan Jones's biggest fan, but it's starting to get on me wick. And that's me being polite about it in all honesty. But yeah, so that would be my changes. But obviously I heard you guys kind of talking through the Sheffield Wednesday game. Look, I just want to big up me ginger friend because, I have to. Us gingers got to stick together. We're a rare breed. Look, the guy's been unbelievable, and he won me some money as well because I did put some money on him to score. So thanks, Sonny. But, he's been our best player this season by an absolute mile. And to think that Blackpool fans said he weren't ready. And, I talked to quite a few Blackpool fans and that, no, he won't make the step up. He's not good enough. He's been unbelievable. And to keep a player of Harvey Nibbs' quality out the team is brilliant. So keep doing what you're doing, Sonny. You've been incredible, and I, for one, am one of your biggest fans, even though I've got a Tanto Olafe scarf behind me. Sorry. But I can't have ginger on my scarf and ginger on my head. It don't look right. So, anyway, we'll go into score predictions. I'm going to be the negative Nelly tonight. I'm literally going to be Josh. So I'm going to start, and hopefully you might all cheer me up. I'm going for a 3-0 Ipswich.
Oh.
So, Tyler, I'll come to you. Oh, and guys, put your predictions in the chat. Hopefully, they're not as bad as mine.
Jesus Christ! I'll go for a slightly more positive, but equally negative 3-1 Ipswich. I'm not expecting a miracle, to be honest. It would be amazing to get a point. I mean, if we get a point, that's an unbelievable result, But our record at Portman Road speaks for itself. Their squad's ridiculous. So, yeah, expect a defeat. I think we'll nick one. I'll back Charlie Kelman to score again, as I always do. I think that goal's got to come. And if he gets one against Ipswich, I think that'll be amazing. But, yeah, Ipswich are going to batter us. To be honest with you, I'm more interested in the box office fight that's going on, but hopefully between Marcelino Nunes and Hernandez, to be honest.
I'm ready for that.
It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me if Jones brings him on. He comes on, does exactly what he says he's going to do, just absolutely twats Nunez, gets sent off, and never plays for Charlton again. That would just be legend signing, club legend already. Hang it, but yeah, Jones. If anything from this game, just bring Hernandez on. The whole nation needs to see this, I think. But yeah, 3-1 Ipswich. Not confident.
3-1 Ipswich. Steve.
You know what? Right, thinking of optimistic, 3-2 win. And then with our third goal, it's like 96th minute. And then, who's going to score? Tanto scores runs over to the corner flag, kicks the corner flag over, and gives it some of that.
Gives it some of that. What a
Yes.
girl! I love this girl. Steve,
I'm going to stay on the side of optimism and hope for a 1-1. Yeah, I think if we can get a goal if we can get ahead, it'll give us something to maybe defend and get hold of. I think it's inevitable that they probably will score, but yeah, I'd love a 1-1 draw tomorrow night. It might be beyond us, but yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1.
yeah, Tom.
I'm gonna be positive. I think 2-1 win. I am putting a tenner on Ono to get sent off. Because if there's one thing that is for sure, one thing that's for definite, he's gonna go flying in and he's gonna absolutely wipe Nunes out, because I think he comes on after the 70th minute. He's gonna get a red card. As Tyler say, he will never play for Charlton again. But Norwich fans will love him. Will love him. Yeah, I think 2-1 win. Tanto will score. And there will be a last-minute goal from Mr. Connor Coventry.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd bloody love it. And Mr. Gandhi there, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, just going to say, Sid, it's a shame that Dobbo's not there to score a last-minute equaliser, isn't it? Really, like we did before.
There's the goal.
I was going to say NL might create his own very own Cuban Missile Crisis, but that'll be missed by most of the younger members of the audience. But no, I was thinking of sort of similar 1-1 sort of. I think Kaminsky's going to have to earn his money tomorrow because he's going to get peppered. I think hopefully we'll get a goal on a breakaway. I'd love to think it was going to be an end-to-end, but I can't see it somehow. I think it's going to be a sort of Rorke's Drift Alamo again. Sorry, age-old adages that some may not get. Sorry about that. I'm old. But yeah, no. So I'm as I say, I'm sure Kaminsky's shown his mettle in terms of some of his shot stopping in the last few games. So yeah, I think it's hopefully 1-1. We'll get away with a point. I can't see it being a drubbing. I hope I'm not wrong after the last two. But yeah, really looking forward to it. Should be a good game.
Excellent. And before I read out the score predictions in the chat, I've just got to answer a question from Ailey, who has said, Emma, do you sing I Have or I Want Ginger Hair when chanting Sonny Carey? Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of evening entertainment. So it's, oh, Sonny Carey, you are the love of my life, oh, Sonny Carey. I don't have a wife, oh, Sonny Carey. I've got ginger hair too. There you go. So that is what I sing. And I get up loud and proud. And Tom can confirm I wave my arms in the air and everyone looks at me and laughs. So, right. So we have got a score prediction. So Steve has gone for a 2-2. Charlie's gone for a 0-0. I would take that all day long. Tom has gone for a 2-1. Elia's gone for a 1-0. A Charlie Kelman bicycle kick.
Come on.
Oh,
yes.
Pick a fiver on that bad boy. Mark has gone, we'll either draw 0-0 or get slapped. Very hard one to predict. Then again, Jones sides do well against the bigger fish. So maybe a smash and grab. Would love to see it. Matthew has gone 1-1. Besides, Ipswich lost to Borough, so need to bounce back. Borough are an unbelievable side, by the way. Anything less than a win won't be accepted by them. Pressure's on them, not us. And Tommy has gone for a 1-1. So that is it. I'm at Ipswich tomorrow. I believe Paul's at Ipswich. Tom's at Ipswich. Steve and Sid, are you at Ipswich?
Tyler's band.
No, we've passed on tomorrow. We've been to the last two, so we've passed on tomorrow.
Very wise. And Tyler is banned. So
yeah, not making that one.
I'm actually in the lower tier tomorrow because I've got a bad leg. If you do see me on a crutch, please do not laugh. I'm in pain. And I'll be in the lower tier. So if you see me, wave at TV and I might wave back. You can't really miss me. But thanks for watching, guys. Obviously, thanks to Tyler for hosting the first part of the show. It was amazing as always. To Stephen, Sid, to Tom, who will not be with us for much longer, so please enjoy him while you can. And to the lovely Paul. I'm sure Sid is going to go straight to bed and not edit any clips from this tonight. But she will be updating our TikTok at some point in the next week, hopefully. And we will see you guys at Ipswich tomorrow. And we will be back on Wednesday night in our usual 8 o'clock slot. So we will see you all then, guys. Take it easy and thanks for watching.
Take care, guys.
Thanks all. Bye.
Bye.